not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual Purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the Purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the Purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the Purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
All right, man.
This Star Wedbush analyst, he covers Lyft. He has an outperform rating and a $17 price target. Wow. Okay. What's your reaction?
I mean, Lyft continues to be the little brother to Uber. And I think this is a dog ate the homework type situation in terms of what we're seeing from an EBITDA perspective. We got to evaluate what happens in the call. Our view of the stock was way overdone. It's obviously had a huge rally to date. I still believe Uber is the best way to ultimately play rideshare. And for Lyft here, I mean, this is a fork in the road in terms of this quarter, the next quarter. Can they navigate and do it profitably?
Well, what leads you to believe in any way, shape, or form that they can do that? I'm just not going to let you off the hook that easy.
Sure.
He is not going to let him off the hook that easy. Because I am a journalist on TV and I know a lot about stocks. All right. Let's talk about Lyft. Lyft got smashed. I'm going to keep it short today. If you remember back here at $10, Lyft was one of my favorite stocks. So we're back to $10. Had a huge run. I was talking to someone this morning. I hope you're on here, sir. I wasn't trying to be rude or anything. I hope you understood what I was trying to say. eBay to 100K. What's up? Need to do another podcast. You know, I don't really spend a lot of time on earnings. A lot of people have asked me today, would I sell this? No. You know, you got to get used to these kind of things. Gap ups, gap downs. If you're going to play in the stock market, you know, these are growth stocks. These things happen. Anytime you trade a stock that could go from $10 to $18, it can go back to $10. That's called a stage 4 decline. The guy I was talking to earlier today, and again, not picking on you, this is a valuable lesson for everyone, and this is how you learn them. When this goes green, you do not buy this stock. Now, if you're a very, very, very short-term trader, that's a different conversation. If you notice, that went green about right there. I would never, I said never. There are some possible exemptions, but I'm not going to talk about that today. I would never buy a stock that's moved this far and is on the green, even if it keeps going, because it won't keep going. That's just the way it works. It's got to work it off sideways or down. It just doesn't stay green. Nobody does. So you never want to chase a stock. And chasing, by definition, in my opinion, once the RSI is past, I mean, honestly, past 50, but maybe you could take it into 60. A little bit exceptions for crypto. That's kind of a different world. But we're not buying stocks on a RSI. And my buddy, please, or, you know, my new friend there, please, you know, don't let that bother you. This is how you learn, you know. You learn. Like, if you bought a bunch and the RSI was extreme, well, don't get frustrated. You learned a valuable lesson about the RSI, you know. It's your friend. And when the RSI is down here, it's your friend, okay? And if you go back and look, when the RSI is up here, it's your friend. And then we got sideways. I noticed a few people, in the old days, I would have freaked out. I'm not doing that anymore. People do what they want to do. Personally, unless I'm totally swing trading this, I never get out when a stock is up. I trim it. If you make a habit of doing that and then celebrate that, let's say you got all out right here and you're like, oh, I'm glad I did that. It's like, all right, yeah, it worked this time and you avoided it. But here's what won't happen. You won't catch a 2,000 percenter. You won't catch a 1,000 percenter. I've caught a bunch of them. You won't catch the trade that could make your career if you're so quick to get out of every trade. Now, maybe that's your strategy, and I only teach what I do. If the market wants to keep running, I let it keep running. I don't want 20% returns, guys. I want 1,000% returns. Now, the risk to that is sometimes you get hit. And so some will keep going, some won't. But, if that's at the same time, let me say, if that's your strategy, because in my course, I do teach, this is a completed swing trade. When you go from one extreme to the next, that's it. It's over. That is a completed swing trade. And then we did get a stage 3. And unfortunately, we got hit. And sometimes I'll get people, when you get hit like this, you're like, well, I'm just going to get out during earnings. Listen, some you get hit, some go up. It's just the name of the game. So if you got 10, 20 stocks, some are going to pop on earnings, some are going to go down. Man, that's the way the game is played. If you're a day trader, yeah, you're not trading the stock. If you're a position trader, like I trade around Lyft, so I want to have less shares here than I have down here, right? Whatever your ratio, there is no magic ratio. Often I'm asked, how much do you take off? Whatever, man. The more money you have, I think the less you can take off. And if you've ever noticed, I'll trim it. Like I'll do it over a period of days. If you have a smaller account, I would recommend you take more off. An example, Facebook, it popped on its earnings. I don't know why I can't. I hate the meta. It popped on its earnings. Some you win, some you lose. That's the way that game works. But again, it's why I'm always hesitant to say I like a stock, because when a stock goes up here, I don't know, maybe I need to, I hate it because I feel like I always have to explain, like, I love this stock here, I hate this stock here. And so the moment it breaks out, I no longer like the stock because there's nothing I can do. It's just going up. So if I say I like it, I would never buy it here. Never, ever, ever. I want to buy a stage 1 and a breakout. Never up here. And so I'm in it and I'm doing well. And like maybe I'm talking about it and someone goes, well, shit, I want to get in that too. And it's like, no, it's way past a buy zone. So just keep that in mind. A new trade we got into, and it's don't change your rules in real time. Listen to what I'm saying. Don't modify your shit in real time. Like, oh, I got punched. Let me change this. Oh, that happened. Let me change this. Oh, I was waiting for the RSI to go 70 and at 68 it went down. So now I'm going to do it at 68. Don't do that. These things have been time tested. Sometimes they don't work. If they always worked all the time, everybody would be rich, okay? Fixing to have to do a call, so I got to keep this short. I got some one-on-ones today. We got long yesterday, oil. Now it's breaking out. And what I was trying to put out in Discord, if you got my text message or in Discord, was some homework. And I said, hey, look at the rotations we're seeing. It's rotating again. We started to see a change. Bitcoin's flying. It wasn't coming down. Tesla's flying. It's not coming down. Meta beats on earnings. It pops even on a 70 RSI. It runs. We're seeing all these high flyers running, and we saw consumer staples selling off. Even in the sell-off, I was saying they're not cheap to me. They're tradable, but they're not cheap. If you don't own any, maybe you establish a position, but to me, they're not cheap. I'd rather put my money in shit that I think is cheap, and that's just the game I play. Doesn't mean you wouldn't buy some. And we got we got stopped out of oil the other day. And I've had some newer people sent with a little sense of frustration. Guys, if you're, quote, trading, you need to get used to in, out, in, out, in, out. That's called trading, okay? And if I say, hey, I'm taking a swing trade or a trade, that's what I mean. Like, it could be over tomorrow. So we got back in here. Next day, pull back. Now we're moving up. The only problem with this trade in oil is we have a lot of resistance right here. So good chance this trade keeps working. We're probably taking some down here. I'm not adding right now. Just knowing the nature of how this works, I fully anticipate it kind of pulls back a little. See here where it broke out, kind of pulled back a little before running. I think I'll get a better price like right in here. We'll see. I got a nice position. I'm fine with it. Another one we put on, and this is important. You really want to try to understand this. Look at the XLU. It's pulled back a tiny bit. I'm taking a shot at this. I'm a little early. It was above the 5-day, and I'm kind of going off of the fact. Is it still above it? Nah, it's actually below it now. I kind of said that. I'm a little early here. I'm kind of playing what I'm seeing in the market here. Starting to get a slight turn on the TSI. Momentum on the MACD's turned. But this is really could go either way. Okay, this is me kind of jumping the gun. So I want that to be known that I'm not overly confident about this. I would much rather this had went extreme. It got pretty damn close. So this is tradable for me. I'm not doing that, the XLU, but I'm going to do the UTSL, which is a triple leverage. Now, while looking at this, I go and look at Southern. It's trying to put in a stage 1. I own that. That's part of that ETF. I go look at Duke. It's trying to come up. So we're seeing this stage 1 forming in the utilities. I'm jumping the gun a little bit, and I've got my stop below the low of this day. If it collapses, then we're out. It's a stage 4 decline. Again, it's a trade, triple leverage fund, not something I typically will ride down. I have from time to time. Yeah, don't load the boat on HBI, okay? Don't do that. Nothing wrong with adding here. I bought a little. That is going to take a while to recover. There's going to be pissed off investors about the dividend. They still have problems. I mean, the quarter did not look good. The quarter for Lyft did not look good. I really thought Lyft was going to do better. Right on Uber. Uber killed it. Lyft's got to do something about their prices. I've tried to use Lyft several times, and the prices are just too high. I don't know. I think Lyft is a buyout candidate. I'm going to keep trading around it. That's all I can say. I took down some of my Tesla trade. I'd already taken down half of TSLL. Fixing to have to jump here. I just took down some. We're just getting some weakness. And so I want to finesse this and trade it the best I can. We've had such a big win, especially after Lyft. I've had some people say I'm an investor. Should I take it down? I'm like, no, do what you were doing. Like, don't let somebody's trading influence your investing. For me, this is a trade. I don't have a buy and hold position in Tesla. I'm in Ford and a few others, but I trade around Tesla. So I'm happy where I'm at. Took some down, still got some on. We'll see what's up. This is a reversal candle on an extreme RSI on a previous high on a stage 3. Okay, we got to take some down. That's all the signals. I closed my Amazon trade. Let's see. Now I'm getting slow internet. This is when you would take it down. Oh, but my man the other thing I was going to say to you said you had a large position in Lyft and it was 200 shares. I get it. That could be large to you, but don't talk like that. It's not large. One time I was saying something and I was like, well, saving $500 a month is not much money. And the guy was like, well, it's a lot of money to me. And I'm like, it's still not much money. You can't think like that. If you think that's a large, then you're going to have a hard time actually ever having large. Like, it's okay to not have much money, but recognize that. Like, don't act like because it's a lot to you that it's a lot. It's not. Is that, you get what I'm saying? There's a distinction here. Let's say you got $5 grand. You're like, well, $5 grand's a lot to me. It's like, in the scheme of the world, that's no money. You've got to see it like that, because otherwise you're going to have a hard time receiving a lot if you think such a little amount is a lot, even though it's a lot to you. So I could give a homeless guy $100 and he might say, wow, this is a lot of money. It's not a lot of money, guys. It's not going to help him. It's not going to fix him. It's just going to be gone. And you'd be like, well, it's a lot to him. No, it's not. It's probably why he's broke if it's a lot to him. It's not a lot. You got to think like that. Like, I don't have a lot. Every day I wake up, I feel like I'm broke, man. It's not a lot. The world is unlimited. So don't limit yourself within your own confines. Like, expand your vision. So you're like, well, I got 100 shares. It's a lot. That's not a lot. There's people with 10 million shares. This could be premature. Maybe Amazon sets up here. There is some support there. If you're an Amazon bull, do what you do. I want some liquidity. This is a stage 4 to me. I follow the money flow. Holding it's just fine. It's Amazon. I'm just try to be transparent what I do. Okay. And so I'd rather have the money. If it sets back up, I'll jump back in. I have no problems with that. Taking it down. I'm a trader and an investor. And when I got my trading hat on, in, out, in, out, in, out. When I got my buy and hold hat on, holding. And you need to be able to separate, That's about it, man. I wanted to cover, I said 10 million is a lot. 10 million is not a lot, man. It's really not. Might be a lot to you if you have a limited imagination, but there's plenty of people that make 10 million in a day. There's people that inherit 10 million. How is that a lot if they get it free? I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, then this is just a play on words, guys. But I do think it helps your mindset to see it as it's not a lot. Like, what happens when 10 million is not a lot to you? Well, then you have a much better chance of getting 10 million. And again, that's just, semantics, I realize, and I get it. It is a lot at the same time. I understand. So your homework tonight, I'm going to bail, man. I got to do a one-on-one. And I'd love to do one with you. If you hit my bio link, we could set it up and do one. Whether it be stocks, real estate, anything I can speak to from my books or courses. A lot of times I tell people, man, don't do real estate. It's not for you. Just because somebody's killing it on YouTube doesn't mean it's right for you right now. And sometimes investing in the stock market's not right for you right now. I had a guy the other day, I'm like, dude, you got a great business. It's growing. You don't need to mess around with crypto. Don't put any effort into like this shit over here. You're killing it at your business. Nail down on that. That's your play, is to make your business better. Not running off and buying, Lyft on a sellout. That's not your play. At some point, that'll be your play. But like right now, that necessarily is not your play. Unless you just really enjoy it, like a hobby, like I did. I just really enjoyed it. Like some guys like to go watch sports, go fishing, go hunting. My hobby was the stock market. My hobby was the real estate market. Sometimes I get people ask me, well, when are you going to enjoy life? And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, I do hobbies for a living. Like, this is what I did for fun. Trade stocks, buy real estate was a hobby. It's what I did for fun. So I actually make money now doing my hobbies and fun. Like, so there is nothing to take a break from for me. Like, if you made me do other things, I'd be unhappy. Find that happy spot, man. And everything's not right for everyone all the time at the right time. There's different times and places, and you're at different seasons in your life, okay? So don't stress about that. And sometimes you just need to talk that through with someone who's lived a little bit, and they can give you perspective, who's not your mom and dad, by the way. Often your mom and dad love you, but they might give you bad advice because they're trying to protect you. Does that make sense? And also they're filtering it through their own life. Appreciate you guys, man. I'm going to keep this quick. Anything I can do to help you, let me know. If you want to get my free ebook, hit the bio link. I'll try to go live a little later today. I'm posting the 3rd episode in the new series on the Science of Getting Rich podcast. It'll hit Spotify and iTunes this afternoon. Hope that helps. Yeah, man, don't get frustrated. There's a lot of stocks. Lyft is, Lyft's just part of the game. If that move down in Lyft bothered you, you might want to go play a different game. Seriously. That shouldn't even, it is what it is. You look at it and you go, huh, and then you move on. I literally gave it that much thought. There's no tears, no crying, not upset. It's just going to set up again. You know, there's 10 million trades I've done where it's a beautiful company that gaps down. We go back and look at Tesla. Tesla didn't fall 70%. We didn't make our 100% in TSLL. I'll say it again. If Tesla didn't fall 70%, we didn't make our 100% in TSLL. We need these stocks to come down. It can suck at the time, especially if you bought it on a stage 3. So the lesson there is, if you bought it at $10 where you should have bought it, it ain't that big a deal. It's just back where it was. And if you took some profits at the stage 3, you're ahead of the game. It ain't that big a deal. So you just didn't have as much as you did have, but you didn't lose. So I appreciate everyone, man. God bless.